people are upset about specific things that have gone on from that table, like shooting the middle finger up at this court and laughing and joking. Miss McNeil, be quiet.
Take your seat and welcome to Erie County in New York. This is 21-year-old Levon Turrentine standing before Supreme Court Judge Bowler while awaiting his fate. Turrentine, in April 2010, was involved in a tragic car accident which took the life of an 8-year-old African boy. Turrentine was teaching 18-year-old Brianna Hightower how to drive when she hit the boy. For unknown reasons, Turrentine took the wheels from Brianna and hit the little boy who was crossing the road again. Neither Turrentine nor Brianna were licensed to drive at the time. He was eventually released on bail. However, some months later, Turrentine was arrested again for possession of marijuana. The shocking thing was that Turrentine was driving that same vehicle with a suspended license. This didn't go well with the judge, and the sentencing soon turned into a heated exchange.
I told you you were not supposed to drive. So what it tells me is one bad decision after the another. You didn't learn anything. You violated the law again by driving the same car that you already killed somebody with. You were not supposed to be behind that wheel.
It's not like I was joyriding or anything, Your Honor. I just went to the Chinese place to get me and my kids something to eat.
Did I release you on bail to say that it was on the condition you don't joyride?
Turrentine received the maximum sentence and is now facing 7 years of imprisonment. On the other hand, Brianna, the female involved, was charged as a youthful offender. She pleaded guilty to reckless driving, but was ultimately released as prosecutors were able to demonstrate that she was not directly responsible for the tragic incident leading to the young boy's death.
I agree with the family. I hope you die in prison as well. You know, if this was a death penalty state, you'd be getting the chair.
Now it's off to Jackson County Circuit Court, where Camilla Gamet is facing the court after killing her 38-year-old boyfriend, Marcel Hill, and the judge seemed to have taken it a bit personal.
I agree with the family. I hope you die in prison as well.
Camilla, on May 18, 2013, murdered her boyfriend and was arrested the day after the body of Hill, who died from multiple stab wounds and blunt force trauma, was discovered. The 31-year-old was charged with first-degree murder, but she maintained that she acted in self-defense. According to Camilla's lawyer, she killed an unknown attacker in the dark room, but the judge wasn't buying that. When given a chance to speak, this is what she had to say.
Basically at trial, the way I was portrayed, mostly everything was lies. There was a little bit of truth, but mostly I was convicted off of lies.
Camilla showed no remorse for the family of her boyfriend and could be seen rolling her eyes and even laughing. But Judge John McBain wouldn't take that.
And you're gonna shut your mouth or I'm gonna have some duct tape put on it.
Well, he attacked
All right. We'll wait here for a moment so we can get her quiet.
Even after the jury convicted her of murder, Camilla wouldn't keep quiet and continued to plead her case. The courtroom was filled with anger and emotions.
We have no choice but to send her where she will also die. I can't believe she stands before you doing this morning.
Please.
The judge got fired up and shared emotions with the victims' families. He was shocked at how someone could do such unspeakable things to her boyfriend and still feel no remorse.
Tell you, you gutted him like a fish in that apartment too. You were relentless. You stabbed, you stabbed, you stabbed, you stabbed, you stabbed until he was dead.
Jackson County Circuit Court Judge John McBain sentenced Camilla Gamet to life without parole, since that was the maximum sentence for murder. He didn't hesitate to remind her that he would have given her a worse sentence if he had his ways.
I agree with the family. I hope you die in prison as well. You know, and if this was a death penalty state, you'd be getting the chair.
You know very well that an attorney can't go into these types of areas when the judge has already ruled without asking outside the presence of the jury to do so. So don't give me that.
Our next stop is the Kenosha County Circuit Court in Wisconsin. But in this courtroom moment, the judge is not scolding a suspect as you've seen so far in previous cases, but a prosecutor.
And the court left the door open.
For me, not for you.
My understanding of
You should have come and asked.
The 75-year-old Wisconsin's longest-serving circuit judge was presiding over the Kyle Rittenhouse homicide trial when he snapped at the prosecutor. The trial of Kyle Rittenhouse, an 18-year-old from Wisconsin, gained significant attention due to its high profile. He was charged with first-degree intentional homicide, reckless homicide, attempted homicide, and reckless endangerment for firing shots during a night of civil unrest in Kenosha. The case raised crucial questions about self-defense, as Rittenhouse shot and killed 2 men and injured a third. During the trial, Judge Bruce Schroeder took issue with how prosecutor Mark Binger questioned the defendant. Rittenhouse had decided to take the stand and was questioned on matters that the judge had ruled as inadmissible in the trial. Binger argued that Rittenhouse's responses opened the door to that line of questioning, but the judge disagreed.
Your Honor, Mr. Binger is either forgetting the court's rulings or attempting to provoke a mistrial in this matter. He knows he can't go into this, and he's asking the questions. I asked the court to strongly admonish him, and the next time it happens, I'll be asking for a mistrial with prejudice. He's an
Finger? First of all, Your Honor, this was the subject of a motion. I'm well aware of that. And the court left the door open.
For me, not for you.
My understanding of
You should have come and asked. Why would you think that that made it okay for you, without any advance notice, to bring this matter before the jury? I was astonished when you began your examination by commenting on the defendant's post-arrest silence. That's basic law. It's been basic law in this country for 40 years, 50 years. I have no idea why you would do something like that. And it gives, I'll leave it at that.
No, I don't. I don't speak to the police. We was arguing about, she know I killed my son. We're gonna arrest you for killing your son, and I hung up on him.
Next, we go to the Leon County Courthouse in Tallahassee, Florida, where a Florida man accused of murdering his girlfriend and their 3 children limits his chances at freedom by exchanging words with the judge. According to the prosecution, Henry Segura was accused of murdering his girlfriend, Brandy Peters, and their 3 children, including his own 3-year-old son. The prosecution claimed that the motive behind these murders was a dispute over unpaid child support. On the other hand, the defense suggested that the killings were actually carried out by a drug syndicate. This case went through a retrial because the first trial ended in a hung jury, meaning the jury couldn't reach a unanimous verdict. During the retrial, at one point, Henry Segura decided to take the stand. While he was being questioned by the state during cross-examination, he and the judge had a bit of an exchange.
Well, did you tell her the truth? Did you tell her I was over there just because to see my son? But I lied to you about the sex? You didn't tell him that?
No, I didn't tell her that. Okay. I didn't have a chance to.
Why not?
Because the way our conversation went, the phone call ended abruptly. And I didn't call her back. Okay. And every time she called me, I would refuse to call.
And so your answer is no, that you did not tell police that?
Yes, I told the lady Johnson, Investigator Johnson.
You told
over
her
the phone that I was cheating on my wife. I didn't want y'all to find out. Mm-hmm. And she, and she, like I say, she went back and forth, and we was arguing about, she know I killed my son. We're gonna arrest you for killing your son, and I hung up on her.
So your testimony is that you told police in this case over the phone,
Investigator Johnson.
Wait a minute, don't interrupt her question, Mr. Segura. Let her finish her question.
She's asking the same question
No,
over and over.
be quiet.
No, she's.
Be quiet. Now,
you
she
pointing
asks
at?
you a question.
Who you pointing at?
You wait till she finishes.
I'm a
the
grown
question
man.
And then answer it, okay?
Yeah.
And she won't interrupt your answer either, because a court reporter can't take down two people at once. Is that clear? Sir?
Yeah, that's very clear.
Henry Segura, in the end, was convicted and sentenced to life behind bars. Our last stop is at the Broward County Courthouse in Fort Lauderdale, where Nicholas Cruz, the face behind the infamous Parkland school shooting, which ended the lives of 14 students and 3 staff members in 2018, is being tried. During the Parkland trial, Judge Elizabeth Shearer became very angry with Nicholas Cruz's lawyer when he objected to victim family members criticizing the defense team and mentioning their children. After the shooter pleaded guilty to the shooting, the victims' families presented their statements, some of which were directed to the defense team. This didn't go well with the defense attorney, who spoke up about it. The lawyer asked the judge how she would feel if it were her own children being talked about, and in response, the judge got upset and had the lawyer removed from the defense table, sending him to the back of the courtroom.
When these people are upset about specific things that have gone on from that table, like shooting the middle finger up at this court and laughing and joking, Miss McNeil, be quiet. When these people have sat in this courtroom and watched this behavior from that table and they want to say that they're not happy about it, what is the problem?
Judge, I have no problem because I have thick skin. But once you bring in my children, I think that's highly improper. And it's because
I didn't even know you have children. I don't know what you're talking about. Your children? What about your children?
For them to comment on my children is highly improper. And for this court to allow that kind of testimony is also improper.
I don't remember any comments about any children. And if there was, it obviously didn't, it came and went without me noticing it.
Judge, I can assure you that if they were talking about your children, you would definitely notice it.
You need to sit down right now. You're out of line. In fact, you're excused. You need to go sit in the back with your chief public defender.
He's the public defender.
Mr. Weeks, please ask the lawyer from your office to go sit down and not say anything else. To try to threaten my children and bring up my children is inappropriate. Go to the back of the room now.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Before you go, please hit that like button and be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a second of the action when we post our latest videos. We'll see you in the next one.